OSIDA released a press statement in which they alleged a number of things, central to which relate to allegations of shrinking democratic space, among others. They also spoke about decreasing public confidence in government and also called for the Chief Justice, Dr. Mumba Malida, to take into consideration issues of national interest, such as those playing out within the Patriot Front. We as government would like to respond to the OSIDA statement as follows: that firstly, we respect their democratic and constitutional right to speak freely and express themselves in accordance with the entrenched provisions of our governing fundamental law of the land, the Constitution. We, however, are quick to note that the central theme of their press conference hinges on alleged shrinking democratic space, a matter which has already been amply brought before the doorsteps of government, and the government has already indicated its willingness to meet stakeholders who are alleging shrinking democratic space by way of indicating government's willingness to meet the Catholic bishops who were the first or amongst the first to highlight this allegation. The government will, in the next few days or weeks, be able to meet those stakeholders through the Catholic bishops and others as the case may be, to resolve this particular issue amicably so that national attention can be focused on the economic situation that the president and his administration are placing premium to resolving, because that is what matters most to the people of Zambia, and not politics being made our daily bread. We therefore find it strange that OSIDA want to continue to play and beat the drum whose sound has already been heard ably by the government. The government will therefore take this as something with a pinch of salt. And this is because the language that was used in this particular press statement by OSIDA did not just go beyond communicating the issues they considered were relevant and important to bring to the attention of government. They went ahead to use quite demeaning, derogatory, if not insulting language to the head of state in their description and characterization of how the president addressed the nation last week during his end of year, address to the nation. We find it quite strange and perhaps unacceptable that an organization that comprises eminent citizens, including, and as was signed for and on their behalf, Archbishop Mpundu, could use language that is derogatory, demeaning, and insulting to the head of state and to government. And to that extent, therefore, we find that the issues that they are raising, considering that they have already been brought to the attention of government, they continue to bring them to the fore as a way of sustaining confrontation with government, because that is their trajectory. Otherwise, we want to urge the citizens to remain calm and to accept that in today's Zambia, there are citizens who rejected the presidency of President Hichilema right from his days in the opposition, into his leadership as president of Zambia, they are still drinking from a bitter cup of denial. We urge our citizens to remain focused. We urge our citizens to continue to enjoy the festivities of Christmas and New Year, and consider that there should be time for everything. Those who want to be doing politics forever, they have the right, but they should do the right things. Continuing to claim shrinking democratic space in Zambia is quite pretentious and highly hypocritical when you look at where this country has come from. Today, everybody, every citizen, every organization, including the media at large, enjoy their freedoms as guaranteed by the Constitution and protected by the New Dawn administration. When you look at the fact that OSIDA, just like any other civil society organization and or grouping, are able to assemble, are able to speak, they are able to hold a press briefing or conference and or appear before radio or television houses and be able to address the nation and use some of the language which is quite despicable, as they have demonstrated in their last presser or press statement. Clearly, that is a living testament and indictment that today's Zambia is a free world. Those who want to continue to allege shrinking democratic space have to be understood that they have run out of ideas for which to hold this government culpable of wrongdoing. Today, in 2 years and 4 months of New Dawn administration led by President Hichilema, no single radio station has been closed or threatened with closure, TV or media house. No interview has been disrupted by political thugs, by political hooligans, by senior government officials, by DCs, as we used to see under the previous administration. Today, as we speak, last week there were nominations taking place in Luapula and Muchinga, where we have 3 local government by-elections. They have this far gone event-free, just like the last set of by-elections, which went eventless. By this we mean there was no recorded and known incidents of political violence which was akin and characterized the previous by-elections under the previous administration, where going into a by-election was going into a battlefield. Today, we do not have any incidents where opposition leaders are going to attend a church service and all of a sudden church grounds turn into a political battleground because supporters of a ruling party are pursuing leaders of the opposition. Today, the president has repealed the law relating to defamation of the president and also has assented to the Access to Information Bill, which is now law, which has widened further the democratic space in Zambia, the precincts within which citizens freely participate in engaging their government. Today, many leaders of the opposition can wake up to shooting themselves into videos that they throw into social media circulation, calling the president names of their wishes. This is the Zambia that the president envisaged, that it should espouse and promulgate wider freedoms, notwithstanding the abuse thereof. Therefore, when you have people insisting that there is shrinking democratic space in Zambia, what are they talking about? We have to understand, therefore, that they will continue to drum this beat in order to attempt to hoodwink and mislead and misinform unsuspecting Zambians and citizens, particularly the international community, those who may not be well apprehended with what is pertaining in this country. This is a peaceful country. This is a peaceful Zambia. Today, all of us as citizens, we are all proud to live in a country which we once lived as proud citizens of a peaceful country, a beacon of peace in the region, on the continent, and globally. Today, wherever you go as a Zambian, you will be associated with two things. One, peace and its thriving democracy in the country. And two, prudent leadership of President Hichilema, trying to turn around the economic fortunes of this country to recover a country from a debt trap where we as a country were in default, were failing to meet our balance of payment obligations, not just at international level, but also locally. Many local suppliers and contractors who were contracted by the previous administrations, many of whom were actually surrogates and or aligned politically to the previous administration, got contracts for which the government failed to pay them. Such is the economy that the president is addressing his mind to be able to recover. Today, we have reached a situation where the debt restructuring program has reached stages that many thought would never have been attained because the previous administration tried for many years and failed. Today, Zambia has struck agreements with the IMF. We are going to be receiving very soon an approved 187 million United States dollars and also about 125 million United States dollars from the World Bank. Zambia's bilateral and multilateral supporters to programs of government, including budgetary support, have since all committed and or recommitted those who had pulled out. Today, Zambia is a trusted player on the international scene, with a prudent and participating leadership in shaping the direction and future and destiny of humanity. Today, Zambia is playing politics not just in the region, but globally, offering leadership of credibility and reliability. Only a few people, those who resisted that President HH could ever become president, are going around shamelessly saying that there is shrinking democratic space in Zambia. We do accept as government that there are one or two areas in terms of law enforcement that require enhancement to ensure the fullest enjoyment of the rights by our people. That is government. That is the government you chose. But as things stand, to say there's shrinking democratic space in Zambia is clearly, patently, and manifestly mischievous and malicious. The government, therefore, takes this with seriousness, that we are now confronted with enemies of progress, masquerading as civil society, some of them masquerading in other names. And when they are called those names, they want to rush to the top of the mountains, to the gallery, and pronounce themselves innocent and saints. Let us be patriotic as Zambians. The president spends sleepless nights to ensure that Zambia becomes a better country, one